Hey guys, I am Knife Blade Presents. Welcome to my first film review. A while back, maybe like 11 months ago, I know it was a very long time, but a while back I discovered a trailer or channel. I don't know how I found them. Or no, it might have been like some spam email that I checked out, and I was actually generally entertained. It was a trailer for a thing called Nerf versus Zombies, like Nerf guns shooting zombies on a campus, and it looked a bit cheesy, but it was a long time ago. I kind of dug those heavy movies, action flicks. I like indie films. I love basically when people can do with lower budgets and stuff. I like watching that stuff because it just inspires me to do the same thing, and I actually can find some decent stories in a while, even if they have a low budget. And it said it was coming soon. Like, ooh, coming soon. And of course, when you hear someone say coming soon on YouTube, that usually means there's a delay of between 3 days to 3 months. And this delay between the videos was 11 months. And I almost completely forgot about it over the summer. And I was thinking about unsubscribing to this guy who made this Humans versus Zombies. Agent Johnny B, that's his name. And I looked at her Facebook. There wasn't that many updates, but there's always a few things like, oh, we're still working on it, editing's really difficult. I even exchanged a few private messages to him saying that in the beginning how the episodes were doing. And he's like, oh, they're coming out soon, and no, he didn't. But actually going into the film review, once it finally came out this summer, I was like, oh boy, almost forgot about this even existed. But, once I started reading around December, and I watched it's a 3-episode series. I know there will be a second season, just so you know, but honestly, you really can't judge it by its pilot, because the episode 1, it doesn't make any sense. Now, before I get into this review, I'm not going to spoil anything, but I'm going to say that stop it! What am I doing with my life? Don't episode out. Okay, basic details. What was the story? Well, from I can remember, because the first episode is crammed with plot, crammed with it, and it's really hard to figure out because everyone talks so fast. The cinematography is kind of in your face action thing, and the shaky thing, kind of moving it around very quickly, jump cuts and all that, but I'll deal with that later. The plot, there's some type of agent. I don't know what he is, but he's some agent. He has a girlfriend, and he gets this call about this psychopath getting loose, I think, and some things happening in their organization. There's some type of mole and someone's being intrigued. I didn't have any idea what was going on in the first episode. And it was like someone's being like interrogated. That's the word. That's the word. God. I mean, they didn't have that much room for character development. They just like shoved it and bang, plot. And it's very fast paced. And there's this villain that kind of emerges, I remember, who is named Ethan, and our heroes, Johnny and Rachel, have to stop him, and he's made some nasty deals within the whatever organization they're in. They're secret agents, they protected something, people betrayed them, IDK. And basically now he has this virus in his hand. He's not really telling us what's it about, actually. And, this all is very suspense. But, since it's a virus, and this is a zombie series, you know what's in that virus and what it's going to do. And then it starts in this action, and of course, instead of for this action, where they try to shoot the bad guys, basically, him and his cronies, and there's a dramatic pause. There's a lot of drama between the bosses. The boss and the agents and all that. There's a lot of confusion going on. But basically, they have to use Nerf guns to shoot each other, because I actually messaged the creator asking why it had to be Nerf guns, and there was apparently this popular game with Nerf guns versus zombies, something like that. And since you can't use even realistic-looking guns on a campus for film, you have to use, obviously, these fake guns. And, if you really ignore that aspect, it's still kind of fun to watch. Because, the series, it doesn't take itself that seriously, which it shouldn't. But, there are serious moments throughout the series. But, 3-episode series, that's basically what it is. 1 season, 3 episodes. Not that very long episodes either. Moving on to the characters, I would like to talk more about them. Our main hero is Johnny, who is he's a secret agent working for someone, and that's pretty much about it. He doesn't have that much development. He does have a personality. He's kind of he's a bit impulsive, I'd say. But, he's very protective over his girlfriend, despite his girlfriend, Rachel really wants to basically help in the fight. She wants to do as much as she can, but he seems to be holding back a bit like that. He wasn't a really strong character. It just felt like, kind of action, like a video game character almost, like, basically, that's the problem with a lot of action movies. People say they're video games, almost. With a lot of, teenagers and college students making these movies, they just play so many video games, and, they don't focus on character development as much. You just want to focus on the action. And the thing is that characters, if you have a good set of characters, the action is far more suspenseful, because you don't want to care. You care for these people. You don't want to see them die, and you also want to see them kick butt too. But it was like, oh my god, I can't wait to see what happens next to these characters. And that's kind of what the development's lacking here. Most characters are first or second dimensional, some third dimensional. Some have personalities, others just, kind of flat, because, the acting itself is not, ranges from flat to overdramatic to actually okay. Sometimes, it's not unwatchable, trust me. I've seen terrible acting before. You can watch this movie and this series and get past acting. It's good, kinda. understand the character's motivations, and sometimes they do display emotion, but they're not exactly sure how to display it correctly. And I know that they're trying really hard because this was filmed on a campus. I know that they're really trying hard on it, and it's an indie film. I'm not going to make. It's not an Academy Award winning thing. But I was still rooting them for them a bit. I was still rooting for them a bit for some reason. Our villain, Ethan, he's the most definable personality. I don't know. I mean, I can't tell if it's funny, his act is funny, stupid, or good, or just weird, or it's all just rolled into one. He's a bit of an over-dramatic psychopath. I mean, he's always smiling, always Phase 2 shall begin! It's a bit listening to a cartoon villain. I guess, the series does has a lot of humor in it, so I guess it wasn't meant to be taken that seriously. Maybe we could have some more serious films. I'd love to see that. There are a few. The boss is kind of a villain, and I don't mind him. I thought the actor did fairly halfway kind of a good, decent job in that. As for the special effects, the cinematography, the color, the technical aspect. Well, the series is HD, or at least it was rendered in HD, because you really can't tell these days which one's which on YouTube. I can kind of notice pixelation sometimes, but what I really, really enjoyed was the coloring. The coloring of the episode, whatever they did to it, it just looked brilliant. I loved how they, you could just see the vivid colors on the Nerf gun. They sometimes will dull color just to point out some other color. It worked pretty well. It was very interesting to watch. The cinematography, I have trouble saying about it because it can be good, but it's, kind of a shaky thing, so, you can still tell what's going on, though, which is something I enjoy. As for the action itself and the special effects, well, I didn't notice that many special effects to begin with. There are sound effects. So, with guns, they make them sound, instead of like this, they sounded maybe a bit like stock soundish, but they could pass sometimes. Sometimes the editing would mess up too, you kind of hear someone's voice double over or something like that. I don't know, it's weird, but I don't think the editing was terrible. It was a little jump cutty, you can't really tell what's going on sometimes, especially in the first episode. The zombies aren't actually dressed as zombies. They're just normal students. They're just normal people kind of acting like zombies, and they're not that bad. Sometimes they're bad, but other times, they really look good when they're one time tearing open a body of a major character, which is kind of sad. They did well in that scene, and as moving back to the action, sometimes it ranged from okay to awesome. I loved how they creatively used weapons of all the Nerf stuff, and there's one time where this guy has 2 swords and he's swinging through the zombies. It was just that was awesome. There's some guy with a beard. The third episode is the best, and I'm sure that it is the best one. It has far more drama. It's a bit more clear. You finally understand, and it is suspenseful. It is almost edge of your seat. I think they did the best one on that. And episode 2, things are cleared up a bit. You know, I mean, the zombies actually don't appear till in episode 2 and mostly in episode 3, and there will be a second season of this. But overall, I know that the creators put a lot of effort in this. I see potential. I see effort. And I can feel like this might turn out to be something good when the next season comes. I know that they probably worked very hard. I mean, they probably had to get through in there around exams and such, so it was hard to do editing, filming. But overall, it was fun. I mean, if you acknowledge it's an indie film and not a perfect masterpiece, it's a fun movie. Don't expect it to win. It will never. Don't expect it to be like an Oscar-worthy thing. It's not. It's kind of fun. It's a little stupid. Some characters are a bit dumb. There's a few like gag scenes thrown in there that didn't always really fit. But I want to see where it goes, and apparently it's actually shot at a college that's only an hour away from where I live, so that's pretty epic. And they also actually there's one last scene at the end that doesn't have spoilers, but where they use footage from other colleges as well, and they just help out. It's like, oh look, they just that was cool. So thank you for watching my first review of Humans vs. Zombies, and I know this is not a perfect review. It's probably okay at best, so please give me advice on how to improve on these videos. How to become a better reviewer, a better critic, and seeing things, what's right, what's wrong, and what other things you might want to see me review next. I am open to criticism because I'm not perfect and I need advice. Just if you didn't like it, just tell me ways to improve. Also, I would like it if you would subscribe because I also do Let's Plays and vlogs, and maybe even if I'm lucky, I'll actually get time to make a short film or something like that. I love comments. I love interacting with people. Leave a like, please. And if any of the creators of this series are watching this, don't be discouraged at all. I liked it. I had fun with it, even if it had a lot of flaws. And overall, I give this series a 5 out of 10. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Have a great day.